93.3 KZOZ rocks Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
I called Jeff last night about 6 o'clock, and this is all I hear. Sound like a bunch of chimpanzees broke loose from the zoo and were terrorizing your backyard.
Yeah, I apologize for being short with you yesterday on the phone.
No, it's okay. It sounded like you had your hands full. Did you have a party over there yesterday?
No, what's happening
bunch of toddlers?
is my son's starting to pull himself up on stuff, and probably within a couple of weeks we'll be walking, I would imagine. I mean, because he's pretty hell-bent on getting the job done.
Good for him.
He's even now
He's a go-getter.
I was like, well, you know, he'll fall down hard a couple times and then he'll ease off the gas. Well, now he's learned to fall gracefully, and he does the thing where he like falls in slow motion and sits down on his butt. Well, anyways, he's getting a lot of attention paid towards him because he's able to complete this task, and that freaks out the 4-year-old who she is now like, well, look what I can do. Look what I can do.
Oh, my God. So now it's just a competition of yelling and screaming.
And everything is just interruption after interruption after
I would have thought you had 10 kids over there yesterday.
Every time I answer the phone, my daughter, it's like she feels like she needs to tell me 5 things that happened in her day at that moment.
She needs the attention. She's seeking the attention. You need to pay more attention to her, Jeff. That's all it is.
Believe me, I pay plenty of attention to her.
This is pretty funny.
I've been sourced as the liaison to the 4-year-old while my wife deals with the 9-month-old.
So what's next? Where the 4-year-old turns on the 9-month-old, and because she knows that he's stealing the attention.
She still loves him. In fact, yesterday I was able to convince her to play with him a bit, and they played a little bit for the first time, really. So I'm hoping that kind of that trend catches on, because if that trend catches on, then it frees me up to do things like answer the phone and have a conversation.
I see.
But until that really, takes hold, that's not going to take place. I'm still in the training process. It's like when you train a new employee, and then it's like the first day that you're like, oh, okay, maybe there's a chance that this thing's going to work out with this employee. Well, that's where I'm at right now with the 4-year-old. But then that's very short-lived. And then
I hung up the phone and I went, oh, my God. And Shawnee's like, she could hear it. And she's like, what was that? I go, I think they're having a party over there or something. Like,
time party.
He couldn't really talk, and I understand. He's probably got a lot of kids over there, so I'll just talk to him tomorrow.
No kids. It was just
just the 2.
Just the 2 that are normally there.
Just the 2. Are you planning on having any more?
No.
2,
God, no.
Is 2 always been the number?
Yes, 2 has always been the number.
There's been a conversation and all that?
Yeah. There's been a conversation that, if we won the lottery and we were able to afford a house that was bigger than what we live in and all that stuff, then,
If you could accommodate, you could have, up to 6?
Nobody in the house would have to work. Then, yes, we would have another one. But that is it.
Wow.
That is it.
Coming up on the program today, we're going to be giving away those Behemoth tickets. We're actually Slayer, Lamb of God, and Behemoth, and we're doing that at after 7 o'clock, sometime in the 7 o'clock hour. So you can win those next hour. And of course, we got the 8:05 at 8 o'clock, right at 8:05, and then we'll have some Carl's Jr. stuff to give away a little bit later on as well. They got a new sandwich.
How pathetic can some people be?
If you work in a drive-thru, It's terrible because people talk down to you all day. They just treat you like you're stupid because you work in a drive-thru and you're clearly a dumb person. You can't do anything else with your life. You're dumb. You're an idiot, right? And you can be as nice as can be to these people. I was very polite when I worked in the drive-thru. I'd be like, hey, here's your food. Have a great day. And they'd be like, thanks, idiot. Good luck with your baby. And I'm like, I don't have a baby. I don't know what that means. But it was the worst when, you would make a mistake in a drive-thru. People will lose their minds. It's insane how crazy they will go. Even when that mistake isn't your fault at all, right? I'm working at a drive-thru one time, and a guy comes through. He orders his food, pulls up to the window, pays for it, and then drives away without his food. Okay? That is clearly not my fault, right? I made no implication the transaction was over. I wasn't like, hey, buddy, go and take off now. No. I didn't say anything. He just decided it was his time to go. I went, right? It's not over. I know you're very excited about that part, but it's not over. 15 minutes later, he comes back through the drive-thru, like very angry at me, and he pulls up the window like, "Hey! I did not get my food." I was like, "I know." He just left, buddy. Like, I thought it was funny, you know? But he was really upset, like it was my fault or something. He was like, "How come you didn't, like, run after me or chase me down?" I was like, "Oh, because I don't care enough to do that, right?" Like, I work in a drive-thru. I clearly don't even care enough to chase my dreams. You know, what do you want from me right now? Yeah. Good luck with your baby, idiot. Have fun.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
The Council on American Islamic Relations is looking into a situation that took place in a Decatur, Alabama McDonald's on Tuesday afternoon. Muslim family goes into the McDonald's and they order McChicken sandwiches, okay? Now, are you familiar with the Muslim faith and what they can and cannot eat?
No beef, right?
No, well, I think they can eat beef. They cannot eat pork, okay? So they don't.
Who is it that doesn't eat the beef then?
I think it's Indian.
Indian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I used to work with an Indian guy, and cows were sacred.
Okay. All right. No, I'm not super familiar, but now I am.
Okay.
No pork products.
Islam forbids the adherents to the religion from eating pork. That includes bacon, right?
Man, yeah, that's terrible.
So the customer found bacon on their sandwich. And now
McChicken doesn't come with bacon.
Exactly. So they're saying that the person behind the counter intentionally put bacon on the McChicken sandwich.
Probably did.
So
you got to think of these people that work at McDonald's.
The Council on American Islamic Relations is calling for an investigation and firings after this act of fast food terrorism. Now, there's more to the story that I'm leaving out, which leads me to believe that the Council on American and Islamic Relations probably is correct on this one. It was a big family of Muslims. They ordered 14 McChicken sandwiches. Every single one of them had a piece of bacon on them.
Yeah, I don't think they make a chicken sandwich that has bacon on it at McDonald's.
I mean, you have to special order that, and it costs you extra usually,
right.
Unless you are a Muslim.
They got all their bacon for free?
Yes. Kahula Hadid is the head of the Alabama chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations. He said they ordered 14 sandwiches. They started noticing it tasted different to them. They eat the McChicken all the time at McDonald's, and they knew what they had ordered. They know what's in the sandwich. This is an intentional act of religious and ethnic bigotry. Would you agree?
Well, I don't know. I think it could just be somebody who's bored, who's working at McDonald's and thought it would be funny, not realizing the repercussions.
A bigot?
No, I don't know if they're a bigot. It could be.
A bigot.
Where's this at?
Check out those Muslims over there.
Let me stereotype a little. Where did this happen?
Alabama.
Okay. I guess anything's on the table, but
where the Confederate flag.
Come on, we all had jobs.
Flag flies frequently.
Remember when we were younger and we had these types of jobs where we didn't give a crap. We just were trying to get a little money to go out with our friends, and you get bored.
You want to play a practical
and you do
joke?
something. Yeah, you're trying to be funny, and I mean, but maybe not. Maybe this person is a racist. I have no idea.
She said that it doesn't sound like a mistake when it's on 14 different sandwiches. And here's the thing, okay? The bacon was not even a full piece of bacon. It's like, when you cook a piece of bacon.
Right, like it was cut.
There's a little part that breaks off. Like that little part that broke off was planted into the sandwich.
Oh, it wasn't like a strip of bacon? It was just little pieces of bacon?
Like I'm talking about a piece, and I'm making the okay sign right now with my finger.
Yeah, it sounds like this.
And that little circle right there, that little piece right there.
This person will never work in fast food again.
You will never work in fast food again. You are fired. Which I don't know anybody that's been fired from a fast food job, but that's got to be a kiss of death, right?
To these 14 Muslims that ate the sandwich, are they casted out because they had pork?
Do they have to say?
I mean, how serious is it on their side? They have to do they?
If you I mean, are you now banned from the religion? I don't know. I don't know what the repercussion is to them from a religious standpoint. I think because it was ingested accidentally by some, and they noticed the taste. They're like, this is weird. This tastes a little bit different. And then they opened up their sandwich, and then they took to social media, which we're sharing that post right now, just so you could see actually how much bacon was on these sandwiches. But it was this.
I have a rule: I never open my fast food sandwiches.
Just eat it and hope for the best.
I just like, God, I made this decision. I'm a pathetic loser right now. I'm just going to eat this sandwich.
Ignorance is bliss,
right.
And my best line of defense.
I know where this came from. I made this decision. I even gave them my money. I am just going to power through this.
I am all in at this point.
Yeah, I would rather not know.
Congratulations, McDonald's worker, who is now. You can now add bigot to your resume. That's gonna make it hard to find a job elsewhere. You're Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ.
Hashtag food terrorism, really?
Yes, that's what this is, really.
You're really using terrorism because they're Muslim.
Fast food terrorism. No, because this is not even the Muslims that are inflicting the fast food terrorism. It is and I should preface that with radical Muslims, because those are the only ones that are terrorists, it seems. But there are terrorists of all walk of life, okay? And we forget about those terrorists. And the guy that puts bacon on each and every sandwich of a Muslim family's order is committing fast food terrorism.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's such a simple, terrible thing to do to somebody.
My friend Aaron Clark, who is like from Texas, was the furthest thing from a Muslim. He used to work at KFC. And the fast food terrorism that used to go on there when he worked there.
I know everybody's called in about KFC. I can't even go there anymore. It sucks. I loved getting me some of that extra crispy 8-piece meal chicken and the mashed potatoes and the gravy. Like, that was a simple pleasure every once in a while. I can't go there anymore. I was literally driving back and forth to Paso all last week, and I would look at it as I'd go by San Anselmo, I think.
Yes.
And I would be like, I can't do it.
Can't do it. Gotta go in and out.
Too many people, too many horror stories.
Never hear a horror story about it.
Too much fast food terrorism.
Serious.
This is fast food terrorism. This is not an honest mistake.
No.
Unless this was a brand new person and they just got confused working back there.
No, come on.
I mean, but
you saw the piece of bacon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That was planted on there in hopes that they would not notice. They would ingest it, and then it would cause harm to them.
And then you go home and tell your friend, I chopped up bacon and put it on these sandwiches, and these people didn't know.
How do you think I learned the stories of KFC and what was going on at the SeaTac Washington KFC?
Can we not put a little bit, get these people to have a little bit more pride in their work when they work in fast food? Can we not keep them a little bit busier?
Because the hours stink. And it's minimum wage job. So, it's like nothing's gonna, make them happy. In fact, they're looking for an out. I would argue this guy was looking for a way out.
You're right. There's no way.
Sabotage yourself.
There is no way this was a mistake. There is no way this person was mistrained and put bacon on, because it was just little pieces. One little piece that was hidden inside a sandwich.
This is why I'm always on my best behavior when ordering fast food. Okay? I'm pleasant. I smile. I put on the cheerleader face. I'm like, hi, how you doing today? Having a good day?
Yeah.
Great.
Oh,
awesome.
You look good in that net. That hair net, that's very attractive on you. Yes. They probably think we're creepers. Look at that creepy guy just came through here again.
He's scared. We got one on.
He's always asking for extra sauce, and he's always flirting with me.
What? We're asking you this morning if you have ever been victim to fast food terrorism. That is when they intentionally...
Oh, I don't want to hear any of this.
Intentionally mess up your order. By the way, what happened at Buffalo Wild Wings to Jared Cook last season has got me questioning chicken wings left and right. And I buy chicken wings by the bag, the ones that are pre-seasoned.
Right.
From like Foster Farms.
Right.
I forget what the other one is. And now if I get a misshapen chicken wing, like one that is not the wing or the drumstick,
you gotta throw it away.
I throw it out.
It could be a head.
It could be two stuck together because they're frozen. I'm like, I'm not taking that chance.
93.3 KZOZ rocks. Now, back to Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
We're talking about food terrorism because this person in Alabama that worked at a McDonald's chopped up little pieces of bacon and hid them inside chicken sandwiches and fed them to a Muslim family that came in. What'd you say, 14?
14
people
chicken
in this
sandwiches.
family.
14 chicken
And
sandwiches.
they each had this. Obviously, this person's going to lose their job.
It's not a mistake when you're having in 14 chicken sandwiches when it does not come with bacon in it, right? You like the McChicken, right?
Oh, yeah, the McChicken has never came with bacon. I guess you could add bacon, but the way this person did it, if it was a mistake, there'd be slices of bacon on there, but these are just little tiny pieces kind of scattered
as if
throughout.
they ordered it.
Like one little piece.
Yeah, like these were bacon plants, if you will. They were hidden little embedded pieces of bacon, like a microchip in your hand or something.
So we want to know if you've ever been a victim of fast food terrorism. We got a guy in the line. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. This was about 25 years ago, but a friend of mine called me up and told me not to get pickles on hamburgers at McDonald's. I asked him why. He said, because I just peed in them.
See, that's fast food terrorism.
Yeah, he was upset at his manager, so he took it out on the customer.
Oh, see that, and we're unsuspecting. We're just honest working Joes going in there to get a lunch. And I know this happened 25 years ago, but
this
when you
is
hear
terrible.
this, you're like, oh gosh.
Thanks.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't eat at McDonald's ever.
Well,
McDonald's makes good food.
yeah, no.
And if you and they're hardworking people there usually.
Yeah, this is. I wish you would have shared that. I don't like this. I don't like this topic anymore. Fast food terrorism. I don't want to know.
Crazy.
I'm sure I've been a victim
Well,
of fast
at
food
least-
terrorism
at
at
least
some
you're-
point in my life. But I'd rather not know.
If you have religious restrictions in your diet, should you be
Which I do not have any religious restrictions in my diet.
Right. I could say something really mean.
One look at you.
You're kidding. Would you take that chance if you had religious restrictions in your diet? Like, say this was an Indian family and they went and got chicken sandwiches. No, but they were going to McDonald's to get chicken sandwiches, knowing that they also serve beef products at the McDonald's. In fact, that seems to be their forte. They tend to do really well in the beef arena. Wouldn't you worry about some kind of cross-contamination because the level of accountability lies within a 17-year-old making minimum wage?
Right, yeah.
So then at some point you have to feel some of the responsibility for getting bacon accidentally placed on your, or I say accidentally and I'm doing the air quotes, bacon placed on your McChicken sandwiches.
Right.
You know, you're like, well, my bad, because we did come to McDonald's to get the McChicken sandwich. There was a certain level of likelihood and probability, albeit low, but still it existed, that you were going to get some redneck teenager in the back of the McDonald's saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to teach this Muslim family a lesson. Putting bacon on your sandwiches. It's just that's some of that responsibility falls on you. You're going into the belly of the beast on that one. And you're in Alabama of all places.
Is it premeditated food terrorism at this point?
Oh yeah, that was planned.
I mean, because
look at the little pieces of bacon. The pieces of bacon are
right.
meant to be hidden in that.
And they had to go and research the fact that that religion doesn't eat pork.
I don't know if they.
And I'm not gonna hold
a lot of people
some Alabama teenager to a highest regard to know that they would just know that.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Yesterday we were talking about the fact it was news that the Olympics are now going to be coming to Los Angeles in 2028, and we were curious, how you feel about it. Is this something you're excited about? Is it something you're going to maybe go plan to see? Does fast food terrorism prevent you maybe from going to see the Olympics in 2028?
I think McDonald's is no longer going to sponsor the future Olympic Games. They found it not a viable sponsorship to sponsor Team USA because people cared less and less about the Olympics, which is funny because we're supposed to get excited about the Olympics coming here in 11 years, but people have become less and less excited about the Olympics over the last several Olympics, the interest by people for these sports that nobody pays attention to, but
Right.
every 4 years,
There's just a few.
it has waned to the point where nobody cares now.
20% of people, when we ask you how are you going to, how are you going to enjoy it, how are you going to take it in, are you going to go down, are you going to watch it on TV? 20% said, what are the Olympics? So, I mean, that just means, obviously, I think 20% of the people know what the Olympics are, but they don't care.
Yeah.
The other 80% said they'll watch it on TV. That's how I'll take care. I'm not going to go down there. Who wants to be a part of that mess anyways,
Not me.
And then,
like Los Angeles, I don't want to be a part of Los Angeles
on a Thursday afternoon.
When it's just Los Angeles. Screw Thursday afternoon. Sunday morning at 5 o'clock. I don't want to be a part of Los Angeles.
That's
and Los
probably
Angeles
the
traffic.
best time to be in Los Angeles. About 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
And still, I don't want to be a part of Los Angeles. You throw in a bunch of international tourists into the mix and keep me the hell out of the Southland.
Yeah, who cares, really? I mean, I know that it's a big thing to have other people from all around the world come to Los Angeles. It's great for the Los Angeles area. I'm sure that, Disneyland will see, well, don't go to Disneyland during the Olympics. You're going to have to make sure you go before.
They're so excited about this because, this gives them yet another excuse to jack up the prices.
Right, exactly.
I don't know what Disneyland has done. Me and another dad friend were having this conversation over the weekend because we're talking about the next trip to Disneyland. And I'm a big proponent for Knott's Berry Farm because
It's cheaper.
it's a lot cheaper.
And kids are kids, right? It's rides.
My wife and my daughter have a annual pass to Disneyland. And the annual pass is I think it's like $800 per. So we spent $1,600 on annual passes for the two of them.
Wait, your child's pass and your daughter and your wife's pass are the same price?
The kids' pass, there's no deal, okay?
Oh, where, in what other business model does this fly?
Despite the fact that she could only ride 50% of the rides because of her
Even
height.
airlines are nice enough to give you a discount.
She could only ride 50% of the rides because of her height, but her pass is going to cost just as much as her mom's does.
Jeez.
And we went to Knott's Berry Farm once. And I was talking to the guys at Knott's Berry Farm. They do this cool thing where they give stagecoach rides, but it's like real stagecoach rides. There's real horses, real guys driving the horses, and you sit up high on the top of a stagecoach and you overlook everybody. It's pretty cool. You go do they have a little track that runs around there, and you're overlooking the whole park. It's a cool dynamic to Knott's Berry Farm. And the problem is some of the horses, they'll poop along the track, and
They have a pooper scooper.
When that happens, the other stagecoaches have to stop and wait for the pooper scooper to come out, clean it up, and move on before they track it all over the place. So we're sitting there, we're waiting for the horse to get cleaned up afterwards, and he's like, "So this is your guys' first time to Knott's Berry Farm?" I was like, "Yeah, it's been pretty fun." He's like, and I said, my wife, she always likes to go to Disneyland. And in fact, she's got the pass, and my wife's sitting there, and she's like, "Oh, don't enter in this conversation." He tells me about their pass. You know how much their pass is?
It's $800 for Disneyland. It's probably half that for Knott's Berry
They
Farm.
have a pass. Okay, and keep in mind that the $800 pass that my wife has, it's not even all access. There are blackout dates. There are dates in which you cannot use that pass because they're busy days at Disneyland. So you have to, if you want to go on one of those busy days, you have to pay the full price ticket, even though you're the pass holder. So she's got the second tier pass. She doesn't have the all access pass, but she's got the mid tier pass. The all access was like $1,200. It's ridiculous. And then the lower tier one was $600, and that only allows you to go Monday through Thursday. Anyways, Knott's Berry Farm, they do a pass. I forget what the price was because it was a few years ago that we went, but I remember being shocked. Their pass allows you full access anytime you want and has meals included. Okay, so you walk up there, you're like, "I want a slice of pizza. Here's my pass." Okay, cool. They give you a slice of pizza.
Slide it, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you have to, because Disneyland's a giant. You have to really offer something fantastic.
It was somewhere in the neighborhood of $300.
Yeah.
For this pass,
less than half of your wife's second tier pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why aren't we getting a pass at this place? He said to me, now if you go to Disneyland, There are days you think you're beating the system. You can go to Disneyland on a Wednesday thinking, oh, it's not the weekend. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this. Wednesday after school season starts, right? Thinking that you're going to beat the crowds, and you get there and it's all near a sellout. And you're like, what the hell happened to my plan? How did this happen?
Right.
This guy told me Knott's Berry Farm on weekdays is open from 10 to 6. Okay? On the weekends, they're open later hours. But on the weekdays, it's 10 to 6. He says, you take a day off of work, you come here on a weekday. Some weekdays, there are like 15 people that come into the park. It's like Wally World from vacation. You can run right onto every roller coaster, get a full tour.
Don't they have a lot of roller coasters there? Big ones?
Yes. Like,
do they have that old
fun ones.
Do they have that big wooden one still?
Yes. Fun
It's called
roller
Ghost something,
coasters.
I think. Wow.
Fun roller coasters with you and 14 of your closest friends.
But people
running
feel
around eating slices of pizza.
But people feel like they're slumming it when they go there because they're not going to Disneyland, which is crazy.
I don't know how Disneyland has bottled that magic to where they could just effectively block out every other amusement park in Southern California, but they have.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
I didn't know this. I read all this Olympic talk. I had no idea. I was looking up some of the winter sports, and I wanted, out of curiosity, I was like, "Whoa, where's the Winter Olympics? It's next year." In fact, it is in 6 months. Okay, the Winter Olympics are in 6 months.
Yeah,
it's very soon. They're taking place in South Korea.
Where?
Yikes!
South Korea?
The IOC didn't have the foresight on that one, did they?
If you're an athlete, do you want to go to South Korea if you're an American? No, I mean, I'm just thinking there's a target on your back.
No.
In South Korea, I just don't feel like they have the infrastructure to protect us. If we're there.
You're talking about their neighbors to the north.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is leave his mark with his weaponry, and the world shows up on
can't seem to launch a missile
on his peninsula
very far, but I think
6 months
he could launch it to South Korea.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
no problem whatsoever.
Boy, we should rethink this one.
I don't know, like the IOC, they can't just pull out and say, "Sorry, we're going to have it somewhere else," because of tensions. Can they? I mean, has that ever happened before? Where is like
not this close to an Olympics.
We're only 6 months away. And what is going on with North Korea right now causes you to stand and take note. Do you think he needs to be dealt with before? And I say dealt with, I'm putting air quotes, and you can put whatever you want in the air quotes. Before February 9th?
Something has to be done.
To the 25th?
I would say he has to be dealt with, or the Olympics have to deal with it and move. I don't know where you can't go anywhere at this point, can you? I mean, it takes them years. They build facilities for these types of events.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, yeah, I don't know. That'll be really
Go back to where you did it in 2014. Was that Vancouver or no, Sochi? No, you're not going Sochi.
Sochi was terrible.
Go back to where you did it because you know they have the infrastructure still in place in Vancouver from 2010. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well,
Vancouver's pretty safe.
We're giving it back to Vancouver.
So the Winter Olympics are going to be in 6 months.
In Pyeongchang, yeah.
In January.
In February.
Yes. Are going to be in South Korea.
August, September, October, November, December, January. Okay. 7-ish months. Actually, yeah, 7 months from a week from today. In 7 months from a week from today, that's when the Winter Olympics take place. And they take place in South Korea.
What are the odds something bad happens? What are the odds that he does something?
Too good.
Are they 50?
Too good
Is
for
it
me
50-50?
Too good for me to go.
Wow.
For sure.
How come no one's talking about this?
I don't know. I mean, this is the first I'd heard of it. Maybe it's because they're hoping it'll just go away.
Yeah, that's always been a great plan,
which is the policy that has gotten us to where we're at today.
And now it's time for your awkward Facebook exchange. Yeah.
This is coming on a topic of secondhand smoke. We were just asked the question yesterday, why do most people flip out over secondhand cigarette smoke but are totally fine with cigar and marijuana smoke? And that led to a very spirited exchange, if you will, kicked off by Kalika, who says, Everyone needs to worry about their own ass and stay off of everyone else's. This is a free country. America and all that ass.
By the way, America is spelled M-E-R, not M-U-R.
I don't think you can really mess that up, Jeremy, to be honest with you. People are so petty now, it has become ridiculous. I'm a smoker of cigs and weed. I'm polite and I take my ass outside away from buildings and people. I'm an adult and know how to put out a cigarette without burning down the effing county. I also know how to dispose of it in the trash. I smoked since I was 15.
Damn.
Never had a friend tell me I stink like cigs. Because people don't usually do that.
They go behind your back and go, God, she smells like an ashtray.
I don't smoke in my house because of the smell that's left behind. Oh, yeah, if you're wondering, I smoke both cigs and weed to manage my anger, and it has worked. Just look at my felony record in my 20s compared to now.
Damn, Kalika. Then Jennifer writes in, so you're okay with small children breathing someone else's weed smoke? Good parenting. Hope you don't have kids.
Sure F don't have kids. Wouldn't smoke around any either because I'm an effing adult and I know better.
That's when Caleb has to chime in and says, dude, you need to chill out. Jennifer writes back, not smoking in front of kids is exactly my point. It's disgusting that when I'm out in public, people are smoking and my kid has to breathe it. Kalika, you said everyone needs to mind their own business. But what about having some respect for others around you? I apologize for saying that you about you not having kids. Whatever that means. I overreacted.
You have to read it.
Remember, I'm not speaking, I'm just reading. However, now with pot being legal basically everywhere, even before it was, there was several times I've been in public with my kids walking around down the sidewalk and even at parks, and some asshat is sitting there smoking weed and it's blown right in my son's face. I am all for a free country, but not when people like that disrespect those around them.
Then Peanut Gallery Jessica chimes in. She goes, regardless, smoking in public is not that big of a deal. There are many disgusting things in public that we don't like. I think we all have bigger problems to deal with. The point is, don't expect the world to revolve around you, pointed to Jennifer. Oh, well, I most certainly don't expect or think the world revolves around me. Part of today's problem in this country is the lack of respect for others. So in that sense, this is part of the problem. You're doing it right now by taking little digs at me. Did I do that in my previous comments to anyone else? Yes, I also apologize for it. People are not willing to take responsibility for their own actions and contributions to the problems in this world. Everyone is so quick to point the finger at everyone else and not willing to take responsibility. They want to hold grudges and try to out-mean. What does that mean? The other person. Does that mean being mean? Yeah. I'm not sure. All right, back into character. Okay. I am fully capable of doing just that for you. Cut you down in any way I can. I choose to rise above and try to educate instead of knowing people can only learn and obtain so much. Is a Facebook attack on somebody out-meaning and basically calling them out on Facebook, is that rising above? Is that rising above? I got to ask the question. We are now at. Let me really think about this. I don't want to just react. Interjecting editorial into the awkward Facebook exchange. I understand that, but come on. That's why I love Facebook. Caleb writes in. He says, Jennifer, let's pretend we live in a perfect world where everyone does the right thing. That would be great, but we don't. If I smoke out in a public place, I try to stay away from people and kids. Sometimes you can't avoid it because some ass clown with kids follows you to the most remote place and sets up right next to you after they have already lit up. It's people with your mindset that are making California and the rest of this nation a hard place to live. Don't go around expecting people to stop what they're doing when they were in the place that they were in the first place because you don't like it. It's kind of true. Yeah. And that brings to an end.
Awkward Facebook exchange.
You know what's going on? Ticket. What the hell is trending?
We'll give away the tickets.
It's time to find out.
What's everybody talking about?
Bum, bum.
That's something for you to figure out. What's everybody talking about on the interweb?
Yeah!
Webs! Yeah.
All right, Mike's in.
Not too shabby.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys.
All right, so you successfully called in and didn't hang up right away. So that means you have first shot at this.
Okay, great.
So everybody else who just called in and hung up, I don't know what their problem was, but you now have an opportunity before they do to win these tickets to see the show at the Vina Robles Amphitheater on Tuesday, okay?
Awesome.
If Mike doesn't get it, we will go to another line. We've got several ringing right now, but keep trying if it's busy. 543-3693.
Okay, so this is something that a lot of people are talking about on the interwebs right now, and we're just going to, I need you to give me a number between 1 and, let's see here, there is, a lot. 1 and 762.
Oh, wow. Let's go 666.
Oh, look at that, the number of the beast.
Did he say 766? I must have heard that wrong.
666.
Oh, 666. Okay.
The number of the
Yeah.
beast.
An ode to Slayer.
There you go.
There you
Now,
go.
what Jeff is going to do is he's going to read you comment number 666. You just have to figure out what everybody's talking about, okay? From the comment that comes out. If you can do that successfully, Mike, you're going to the show.
Awesome.
The Butcher writes, going to be so tired after a long day talking politics at Starbucks. Hope Mom gives me some money for a latte. Going to be so tired after a long day of talking politics at Starbucks. I hope Mom gives me some money for a latte.
All right. The guy calls himself the Butcher,
The Butcher.
and he'd love to talk
Good thing you
politics
picked
at Starbucks.
666. Going to be tired after.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, oh, wow.
This
This
is
is
not
the
a
top trending.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is a top trending thing here. This is
Oh, gosh.
headline news. Well, I don't know about that, but.
About Trump having a Twitter account.
No.
Oh, see there. Yeah, always good to go Trump, right?
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Sorry, you can try back though. All right, we're not going to hold it against you.
When in doubt, trump it out.
But now we know comment number 666 from the Butcher. 543-3693. That opens up another line. Hi. Good morning. What's your name?
Caitlin,
Hi, Caitlin. Pick a number for us.
4.
All right.
4.
Comment number 4. Give it away, Slayer, Lamb of God, and Behemoth tickets right now.
Earl Fando writes, how can I wash my hair without taking off this boss fedora? How can I wash my hair? How can I wash my hair without taking off this boss fedora?
What? So we have one guy, comment 666, that says something about talking politics at Starbucks.
And hoping his mom will give him money for a latte. and then another guy wondering how he can wash his hair without taking off his boss fedora.
Oh, my God.
Earl Fando.
Yeah, sorry. This is terrible. This is terrible.
Okay.
What do you think? You want to throw a guess out there?
Yeah, Scaramucci, the communications director who just got fired.
No, that is incorrect.
Oh, that's another
Damn
good
it.
one. That's another good one. Well, you can call back as well if you can get through. 543-3693. Hi, what's your name?
Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. Bobby G. Pick a number for us. 100 or 1 and 762. Not comment 4 or 66. I think I said that wrong. 666.
777.
777. They only go up to 762.
Yeah, so it would be crickets then if that's the comment you want me to read. Or you have to wait. I guess you could wait.
All right.
Until we get 777.
We're going to move on. Pay attention now. Comments between 1 and 762. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. My name's Daniel.
Hey, Daniel. Pick a number.
I'm going to pick 56.
All right. 5-6 is the comment. Here we go.
Justin Lamb says, how can I expect to shower if my black pants are too tight to take off?
Shut up. None of this makes any sense.
How can I expect to shower if my black pants are too tight to take off?
Wow. Okay.
Oh, my God. So we got a fedora, a Starbucks guy that wants money for a latte, talking
From his mom.
politics, and
a guy who can't shower because his black pants are too tight to take off. Justin
I'm going to
Lamb.
go out on a limb here and say Boy George.
I love that.
Not Boy
Just
George.
Boy George because it's so weird.
Right?
All right. Sorry,
Boy
buddy.
George.
That's not it. 543-3693. Let's try one more here. Hi, good morning. Pick a number for us between 1 and 762.
24.
Number 24. Here it comes.
James Golly writes, how much kale is too much kale?
Oh, my gosh.
Hashtag random thoughts.
How much kale is too much kale? So we've got how can I wash my hair when I can't take off this Boss fedora? How can I expect to shower when my black pants are too tight to take off? And talking politics at Starbucks and hoping mom's going to pay for my latte.
Wow. Random stuff here.
Not really. There's a theme. You gotta see the theme within the comments. What do you think it is?
It's going to have something to do with water, but I'm going to say it's going to be transvestites in the military.
No transvestites.
Transvestites in the military.
People are getting way too deep on this one. And literally, listen to the comments that are coming down, okay? Listen to the comments that are coming down on this because
there is a tie-in. Okay.
There's a super tie-in.
I just hear fedora, Starbucks politics, and kale in tight pants. I don't know how those all tie together.
Really? Come on. Are you serious?
Let me think about it. We'll come back and get more of your calls in. We're going to give away these tickets to see Slayer, Lamb of God, and Behemoth if you can tell us what everybody's talking about, all right? These are comments from a story that is big in the headlines today. If you can decipher what it's all about, then you'll win tickets.
I didn't say it was a story. There was a guy that was talking about going to Starbucks and talking about politics all day and hoping that his mom was going to pay for
a latte. Yeah.
There's another guy that says going to be very hard to shampoo his hair if he's wearing that Boss fedora. Another guy that says, how can he possibly get clean in the shower if he is wearing black tight pants?
Random. And then what about the guy with the kale?
And then how much kale is too much kale?
Yeah, how much kale is too much kale? That's the question. All right, we got Amy here.
Is that the question?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Pick a number between 1 and 762.
64.
All right, here it comes.
64 is, why am I using this shower? I should be using the river.
Wow, okay.
Okay. I'm going to go with, is Kid Rock running for Senate? For Michigan Senate?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
But that's not.
Oh, is that your guess?
That's not what it
That's
is.
a terrible guess. Goodbye, Amy. Caitlin.
Fedora. She was tying in the fedora comments from earlier. He wears the fedora.
What does he have to do with kale?
He wears tight black pants. I don't know about the Starbucks and the
Political
kale,
talk, but yeah, there's okay. I'm starting to
and
see
he looks like a river dog. Okay,
A river rat?
Have you ever been to the river?
many times.
Okay, Kid Rock. If you were to classify him as being a beach, a lake, or a river guy, which one would he be hanging out at?
Lake, for sure.
No, it'd be river.
Kid Rock is straight up river.
He's straight
okay?
out the river.
Yes. Straight up river. You obviously don't spend time at rivers.
Yeah,
People
well, there's not a
wear
lot of them around
their
here.
shoes in the river. Kid Rock would wear his shoes in the river.
All right, we're giving away
That's
these tickets
probably
again
true.
to see Lamb of God as well as Slayer and Behemoth on Tuesday at Vino Robles. Tickets still available. KZOZ.com to link up. All right, Caitlin, so you need to pick a number now between 1 and 762.
Okay, 1, please.
Number 1.
Number one, now I have to go to the latest, and this is something that has really picked up steam. In fact, the number is now between 1 and 906.
Wow, it's moving fast.
Number 1 is, it is. I hope my hair dye won't fade out. I hope my hair dye won't fade out.
Oh, wow. So we've had a lot of stuff here. We're talking about drinking lattes at Starbucks, asking mom for money. We're talking about kale, tight pants, wearing a fedora. A couple comments about being in the shower. And what's this one again?
Is it?
I hope my hair dye does not.
Hipsters?
And what are hipsters doing?
not bathing.
Oh.
Being vegan.
No, you only get one gas. Bye, Caitlin. 543-3693 are the numbers to get through right now.
Should we say her name as Kale in?
Brian, welcome to the program. Jeff says we're up to 906 comments now.
Actually, it's like the stock market. It's above 1,000 now.
Oh, okay. It's above 1,000.
This just keeps rolling on Twitter.
Pick a comment between 1 and 1,000.
Yeah, number 5.
For 5.
All right, number 5's alive.
Keith at The Real Wheel writes, who should we boycott this week? Who should we boycott this week?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say hipster showering at Starbucks drinking nitro-infused weird drinks.
We're going to go ahead and accept that because the hashtag the hashtag is HipsterShowerThoughts. HipsterShowerThoughts. It is trending right now.
Wow. Nice job. You're the big winner today, sir.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
All right. So it's Hipster Shower Thoughts.
My favorite one is one that
This is what's trending.
did not get chosen this morning, but that was, I want to be a millionaire with 7 passive income streams tomorrow, but I'd like to also sleep all day today. That's the hipster way of thinking right there.
Have you seen Slayer, Lamb of God, or Behemoth before?
I have not.
Well, very cool. You're going to get to see him for the first time at Vina Robles on Tuesday.
Don't wear your fedora to the show, okay, Brian?
I won't.
Okay.
I was going to bring some Winger Bibles.
Winger Bibles. The yellow and black attack.
Oh, yeah.
God, can you imagine fedora hat at a Slayer concert?
And it's Striper. It's not Winger.
Yes.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's Winger. But I remember Winger, the band.
Poor Winger.
What was their big hit, Jeff?
I don't know. Beats me.
Okay.
They're always confused with Striper. They're always confused with Christian rock.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Do hipsters use shampoo, or do they just put some sort of hair oil in? The only hipster I know has a big beard. He doesn't wash his beard. He only puts beard oil in his beard.
That's my question. Is the beard oil, is that an in-shower treatment or is that an after-shower treatment?
From what I understand, it's something you do outside of the shower.
Okay.
You know,
because I'm working on a beard.
You will take the shower. I don't know what kind of soap you use, though, because you can't use anything that has dyes in it, anything that is not, hipster friendly. So you got to use like soaps made of, butter. Or what do they make soap out of? Mayonnaise? Eggs? What is it?
I hope not.
What do they make soap out of?
Those are all food products.
Yeah,
I know. I soap out of those things.
Watch this. You don't know what soap's made out of? It's made out of some kind of food product.
What?
What is?
I don't want to know that. I know this is like not knowing what's in my fast food. I don't want to know this. Okay,
made of
ignorance is bliss. Do not tell me. Do not push
I can't
enter.
Remember.
Don't push enter on that keyboard. I swear.
They're made from fats and oils, solid fats, coconut oil, palm oil. That's not so bad. Rendered pork fat, rendered beef fat. Yeah, you didn't know this, did you? It's kind of what holds everything together. And
soap.
And then, of course, all the stuff they put in soap that make it smell good.
You're telling me there's bacon in my soap, essentially?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Rendered pork
I mean,
fat.
I don't know what kind of soap you use, but a lot of soaps have these types of things inside of them.
I'm composing my tweet for the Hipster Shower Thoughts and trying to tie it into Properly Chill while promoting the podcast. So this is what I've come up with. Should I bring hashtag Firestone 805 or PBR to the barbecue? And what hashtag podcast should I listen to on the way? Hashtag Hipster Shower Thoughts. Hashtag Properly Chill.
There you go. If you want to properly chill with an 805, maybe with some of your friends at the brand new renovated Firestone Walker Brewery, you should give us a call now and tell us how you're planning on properly chilling.
It could be inside
this
the
summer,
shower.
or maybe it's how you're properly chilling right now.
Inside the shower.
Yeah,
For God's
with
sakes.
an 805.
Yeah.
Winger. Do you still remember? Do you
hungry?
remember this?
No.
Yeah.
What's the difference between Winger and Y&T? By the way, Y&T playing the Santa Cruz Boardwalk this Friday night.
I think, yeah.
Santa Cruz does like what we do here, concerts in the plaza. except for they bring in like Blue Oyster Cult played.
Yes.
And I'm a little conflicted. Y&T's playing this Friday up at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk because somebody invited us on Facebook, and I had to look at the lineup at the Boardwalk free concerts. And guess who's playing on the 18th? And this is I'm wildly conflicted because I have a chance to make easy money and see a band I really like, or spend money
Santa Cruz Boardwalk
and spend money and travel to Santa Cruz and get a hotel room for the evening because I'll be throwing them down for when the Gin Blossoms play on August the 18th.
Gin Blossoms are playing at the Santa Cruz Boardwalk.
But the Young Dubliners are playing the slow concerts in the Plaza.
Oh, that's going to be a great
August
show.
August 18th.
And we're supposed to go.
Yeah, that's my easy money.
We're supposed to go host that.
Yeah.
Which they kick us a little cash for.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm wildly conflicted.
Remember this? Headed for a heartbreak.
But my question is, what is the difference between Winger and Y&T?
Nothing.
How come they've never been seen at the same place?
Exactly. It's very suspicious. These are the top 10 greatest Winger songs of all time.
Are they?
Without the Night coming in at number 4.
Sure. I got you.
Oh, you remember this one.
I'm surprised we don't play this one. I really am surprised we don't play this one.
I'm surprised, too. Number 3 on the top 10 Winger hit.
Because there's that obligatory "How!" in there. If you go "How!" in a song, it's almost guaranteed that we'll play it here at 93.3 KZOZ.
I think you're onto something with this Y&T Winger thing. Hanging on, number 2, with a bullet, as Rick Dees used to say. And number 1, Miles Away. We got
that's just
James
80s,
on the line.
80s soundtrack all over it, right?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up? How are you doing?
We're doing well, man. How are you properly chilling this summer?
This summer, like when I barbecue, man, just out back, just freaking barbecue and then drinking 805.
Okay.
Hang out.
Now, when you have a barbecue, are you talking about social barbecue, or are you talking about just barbecuing for yourself for the day?
Both, actually. I mean, you know, for the family.
This is This is something I always struggle with when I have and this is probably why I don't have them anymore, when I have the social barbecue where I invite people over, is how many 805s can you get away with drinking while barbecuing? Because barbecue, you're sitting back there. Oftentimes you're by yourself, which is what I prefer with the barbecue, because you're in your own domain. And it takes a long time to grill meats on the grill as opposed to just throwing them in the oven and however you do it inside the house. I mean, grilling, there's an art to it. And sometimes that art is aided by the expansion of the mind that Firestone 805 brings, right? So how many 805s can I get away with drinking while grilling without coming across like I've got a problem?
I would say
3.
3?
3.
I would go 5.
5?
I would go 5.
So you guys have there's a varying different. I guess
the alcohol in an 805 isn't like, super. It's
Right.
not like 6 or 7%. I think it's more like
Say I'm doing a tri-tip.
3 or 4.
I'm doing a tri-tip, so that's going to take about 50 minutes. I'm not smoking it. I'm grilling it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
you got a little work there.
It's going to take about 50 minutes.
You got to get the grill marks on there.
Some preparation.
There's going to be some heat involved.
There's some preparation, removing the fat and all that stuff.
Seasoning.
Seasoning. And I start from the moment that I start the preparation. The preparation is you crack open the 805, then the clock begins, okay? So I got 50 minutes.
Well, you got 50 minutes on the grill, right? I mean, you still got another 10 minutes prepping.
Yeah, so you got prep time.
You got an hour.
So an hour. So you think it's okay at my social barbecue that I am hosting?
Oh, 5's a lot.
If I kick back 5 805s
in an hour, that's a lot.
Nobody's going to question my properly chilling.
I would say it's easy to kick back 3. 4 beers in an hour is probably pushing it.
I'm going with James on this one. Okay,
3? I like 3 too.
Thanks for the suggestion, James, and thanks for steering me away from listening to my friend Jeremy over here.
Some of us are
down the wrong path.
Some of us are properly trained as we properly chill. Hold on, we're going to get you set up to go. You got $200 gift card to Firestone Walker that you are now qualified to win. You also qualified to win that VIP tour for 4, and we're going to throw you some 805 Firestone Walker gear just for getting qualified.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Listen online at kzoz.com.
Okay, so we have a new poll question. Okay, and this is stemming from a conversation we were having earlier when we came to realize that in 7 months, we are going to have the Olympics again. It's just like, wow, that just happened. But that's those Summer Olympics. They staggered them to maintain interest and, get people keeping their attention on the Olympics. So the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics, they take place. So now we are asking a question about the Winter Olympics because it is happening on the Korean Peninsula. Now, it is happening in South Korea. It's not happening in North Korea. Obviously, the Olympic Committee, not dumb enough to award North Korea with the Olympic Games, but they are dumb enough to award their neighbor with the Olympic Games 5-6 years ago. Now, 5-6 years ago, it wasn't a problem, right?
Yeah, I don't know. There was always a problem.
It was a problem.
There was always a problem there, but it wasn't to the level that it's been heightened to as of today.
Right.
No.
I guess more than that, like 10 years ago, they probably given the games. So we're asking you the question. This is the California Fresh question. And this is as fresh as it gets, Jeremy. I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this one right away. If you won an all-expense-paid trip to the Winter Olympics, that is expensive, okay? That is that is like a $15,000 prize.
Yeah, it's
if not
good.
more,
because you're there for a long period of time.
All expense
it's a couple
paid.
weeks.
You get to go. You pick the games that you get to go to. You get to stay in the hotel. You got the lodging. You got your food paid for. You got airfare taken care of. This is an expensive trip. Okay, $15,000 might be an understatement. If you want an all expense paid trip to the Winter Olympics, this is the poll question at kzoz.com. They're in South Korea, Pyeongchang. Would you go? Would you go?
This is easy.
It is easy?
Oh, this is super easy. No, I'm not going. I you know what? I can live here. There's a lot of things I could do. Yeah, I'm not getting a $15,000 trip. But if I said, Jeff, let me give you $25,000, but you're going to die in 2 weeks.
You think that's going to happen, though?
50-50 shot, you might die in 2 weeks. Are you going to take $25,000 from me?
No, there's not. These are your two choices, okay? No, it's too close to danger in the north. That is Jeremy's popular option on that one. Your other one is, yes, you would go because you can't let the bullies dictate what you do in life. Because when they do, they win.
Yes, that's right.
You are kowtowing.
I'm very proud of myself.
You are kowtowing to that little man, that little piece of crap, that twerp. And all his nuclear warheads.
I don't care how many guns you have at home.
All his missiles.
How many cool things are in your gun safe. Yeah, you can't compete with that little short bastard.
I'm surprised that you say that you would not go to South Korea for the Olympics.
There's a couple things I don't want to do, Jeff.
Once in a lifetime.
Yeah, I know.
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
Not jumping out of any planes. I have no intentions on going to outer space. And number 3 on the list, not going to North Korea. Not going to South Korea. Not going anywhere. I'll go to Guam. It's not very far from there, but it's far enough.
Guam.
Yeah, Guam's a beautiful place.
But they're not going to have the Winter Olympics in Guam anytime soon, I'm pretty sure.
No, they should have them there.
You went to Paris right after the terrorist attacks?
Maybe not this winter. Well, there's always Paris attacks. I mean, there's always terrorist attacks in Paris. It seems like there are smaller ones. I can't remember the one. It wasn't the explosion inside the arena, but there was something that had happened.
Well,
was it the bridge? It was on the bridge where the guy was running and stabbing people, and I don't know what bridge that was. We stayed away from that bridge.
Well, that was in London.
Was that London?
Yeah, that was in London.
See, I'm getting them confused.
You're getting your terrorist attacks mixed up.
I'm getting them confused. Yeah, because there's so many over there.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but when the Eagles of Death Metal played, and there was that mass killing.
But that was a year before I went.
Right, yeah. But if I'm planning a trip to Paris, I'm not doing it within 3 to 4 months. I know about it in advance, and you had to have that in the back of your mind when you started thinking about planning the trip. You're like, wow, terrorism is a real thing there.
At the time, I remember thinking, I was only going to spend there was one full day in Paris, and then I was going to Bordeaux, which is hours away by train.
But then
high-speed
there was
train.
that terrorist attack in Cannes.
Which is in the south of France, right?
Right. When the van was driving down the street and mowed down.
That was several hours away from where I was going to be.
Dozens of people.
Yeah.
Well, I just because it's several hours away. South Korea is several hours away.
I'm just telling
from
you how I the rationale.
Pyeongchang is several hours away from North Korea.
It wasn't like I was in, Bordeaux and Kim Jong-un was in Paris, and it was, you know what I mean? That's kind of like what it would be like.
No, what it would be like is terrorists can only affect you if you're close by them. And when I say close by them, I mean in the same building, on the same street they are in, whatever. Which makes Kim Jong-un the world's worst terrorist right now, because he's got access to missiles, okay? He can strike you while you're sitting there watching a little curling.
So why do you have it hard? Why do you find it hard to believe that I don't want to go to South Korea?
I understand the difference between the two.
I don't even know why this is a question.
But initially, when I asked you about it, well, right now the yes is leading the way on the poll.
They would take the trip.
They would take the trip.
Tough guys.
KZOZ.com.
Tough guys are always first to go.
And what we're asking you is, if you want an all-expense-paid trip to the Winter Olympics, this happens in 7 months in Pyeongchang. This is in South Korea, giving their juxtaposition on the planet next to the world's greatest terrorist and dictator, and that is Kim Jong-un. Would you go on that trip? Jeremy says no, despite the fact having gone to Paris right after terror attacks. And I understand now why you would say, okay, I could deal with some terrorist attacks. I don't know if I could deal with a leader who wants to leave his mark. And what better way do you leave your mark than disrupting the Olympic Games?
Oh, yeah. There's nothing more that would go down in history that if you did something terrible to, thousands and thousands of people that were there for an event that is celebrated once every 4 years.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
When you fly on an airplane, what is your go-to drink? Do you have a go-to drink?
Yeah, it's usually ginger ale or tomato juice, because that's the only place I drink those things. I don't drink tomato juice at home. I don't drink ginger ale at home. I only drink it on an airplane. Because
it's funny. A lot of people ask for tomato juice.
They offer it.
Ginger ale.
I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I can go ahead and go that route.
Yeah.
I'm normally not.
They have other things. They have other soft drinks and juices you can have. But
I'm normally not 20,000 feet up in the sky, so I'll go ahead and do something else I normally wouldn't do. Give me that ginger ale.
Has anybody ever done a study why that is so common, the ginger ale? And
I don't know, because they're not drinking it on the ground.
And you always have to hear the flight attendant go, well,
got to be some reasoning behind it.
We don't have any tomato juice, but we do have a spicy Bloody Mary mix. Will that work?
Yes.
Yes, that's even better, right?
Please give me that.
Mine is a Bloody Mary. I like to have vodka in mine. Even I can understand your situation now that you have kids. Maybe you don't like to drink.
I feel like I'm getting ripped off if I drink on the plane, because there's no.
Because you have to pay $7 for that little bottle of vodka?
There's no chance of getting a bonus pour. There's no, of getting that little extra amount. You know what I mean? Like, you get that little bottle and that's it. And they say, here you go. And they hand it to you and you're supposed to assemble it yourself. And you're like, thanks. It's like, there's no.
If you're sitting back in coach, they only come through usually one time, maybe two. And you might have a 3-hour flight. We had a flight to Mexico. It was 4.5 hours to go down there to like the Cancun area. And he came by, and I normally order Bloody Marys, but for some reason that day I wanted some orange juice. I was going to have a screwdriver. So I said, can I get 3 screwdrivers? And he just looks at me like, oh my God, are you? I'm like, well, one of them's for her. And he still looked at me. I'm like, well, you're not going to be back for a couple of hours.
Double fisting it.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I need to be able to drink for a couple of hours here. And then on the way back, he comes through, and I said, yeah, can we get 2 more screwdrivers? And I give him the card. He's like, yeah, I can't get the card to work. He's like, this one's on us.
A few years ago, we were talking.
That was a good day.
This is one of what I thought at the time was one of the most important things I learned on this radio program. And we were talking about getting stuff through TSA. And somebody had called up and said that you can take airplane bottles, as long as they're plastic, you can take airplane bottles onto the airplane, because that is liquid in your carry-on, as long as they are under the 2.5 ounces or whatever it is for the liquid, because they're you have to put them in the Ziploc container. You have to show them to them. Does that still fly?
Now, the FAA now prohibits drinking of your own alcohol on a flight. It's the first thing that the flight attendants say when you get on board and they start to do their announcements after they get through the safety stuff.
Well, what if you were taking it with you?
It's right around the tobacco thing. And drinking your own alcohol
What
is
if you were
prohibited by FAA
taking it with you
regulations.
to your own the other destination?
Well, then you're probably fine. But they just don't want you drinking it while you're on the plane.
How can they tell?
Nobody's going to be able to tell. As long as you're not, I remember back in the day when you and I traveled on Southwest and we brought we
went and bought
half
a
rack.
12-pack.
We bought a 12-pack of beer and we just kept handing the flight attendant empties. And she just thought it was funny.
Yeah. We had a flight from Los Angeles, Southwest, so we had to go from Los Angeles to Sacramento to Portland to Seattle.
How about the most annoying drink a flight attendant can serve you? Do you have any guesses?
The
on
most
what that might be?
annoying one they can serve me is water. Have you ever gotten on the regional flight and then they're like, sorry, all I got is water? Because it's like a 27-minute flight.
I always bring my own bottle of water on because it's like I just want to be able to drink water whenever I can. And even no matter what I order, I'm always going to want to chase it with a little bit of water.
They always say, all we got's water. Like, really?
Not even coffee?
You're coming around with that water stuff? Nah. And they usually bring it around like in a 2-liter bottle and they'll pour it in a cup for you. They can't even give you your own container to have your water in.
I think this is happening that the Alaska Air's Horizon Air is going to be coming in here, and they will actually serve you free beer and wine if you're of age. Something to look forward to if you travel out to Seattle or back over here out of San Luis Obispo's airport.
Are you sure you don't get any kickbacks from Alaska for mentioning? Because you bring up Alaska Airlines a lot.
I'm a big fan. I mean, for God's sakes, I wouldn't have been able to go float the river a couple weekends ago if they didn't bring this flight here.
Do you get anything?
I'm tickled. No, I mean, I have a credit card that I get miles when I use it.
They tickle you?
And
they tickle you?
Oh, yeah, big ticklers.
Is it before or after the flight?
It's usually somewhere right before you land. They want to make sure you land happy.
Because you're all up that friendly Eskimo's ass on the
I could say the same about
on the tail of the wing, my friend.
I could say the same thing about you when it comes to
what's that?
That park, God, I forgot.
What park?
The park you were plugging all morning outside of Disneyland. The one you like to go to.
Knott's Berry Farm?
Yeah, Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah,
God, you went on for 10 minutes about Knott's Berry Farm.
I talk about Disneyland more because more people go there.
Anyways, the most annoying drink that a flight attendant can pour you on a flight is a Diet Coke. Apparently, it has the most carbon dioxide in it, and it takes longer for the fizz to go down. They say they can actually make 3 to 4 other drinks while the Diet Coke fizz goes down so they can finish pouring it. That's why you just give us the can. If you just quit being so damn cheap and just gave everybody that ordered a Diet Coke or any soda the can, then we can enjoy it the rest of the flight.
Is there a business that is blatantly obvious on how much they cut back more than the airlines?
God, it's ridiculous. I remember there was a day when they gave you a can.
They'll even tell you up front, they're like, yeah, we're going to try to rip you off some more. They'll have a press release that comes out. We're moving our seats from 34 inches apart to 28 inches apart.
Right.
So you're continuing to get ripped off. Thanks for flying American.
Yeah. So you know what? Here's the deal, flight attendants. Don't be upset with somebody that likes to enjoy a sugar-free cola soda from time to time. Maybe be upset with your boss that won't let you just give somebody a can of soda. What? I mean, it's an hour. What flight is under an hour? I mean, there are certain consumer. What do you call those? Those short flights?
Commuter
Flights, not consumer. There are commuter flights, I realize, where they don't do any service. But anything that's an hour long, give them a can. You could drink a can of soda in an hour. All right? Anybody can do it. And if they can't, you can just throw it in that bag.
And in most cases, they spent $545 on that flight.
Things we didn't get to in hashtag form with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
I've never engaged in that with my dog.
Good. It's good.
Hashtag rejuvenated. New study from the University of Pennsylvania says that women need more sleep than guys do, on an average of 20 minutes more a night to be as fresh as us men. You know why? Because we're tougher.
Is that why?
That's why.
Is that...
Hashtag.
Is that the science behind it, or
no,
is that just interjecting?
I don't believe that at all, as a matter of fact.
Interjecting your hashtag fake news.
I think that...
spin on that one.
I would say that I think women are much tougher than we are.
Fake news.
No, this is a real study that says women should get 20 more minutes of sleep.
Aren't real studies just
fake news?
Women have better taste, like palates, as far as, I do the wine show. Way better. They're smarter. They're tougher. And I'm not joking around. This is not me being funny right now. I have a lot of respect for women. Drop the knowledge. That's right. Hashtag get in sync. The next time you have a headache, instead of popping a bunch of ibuprofen, experts at the University of Colorado say you should just hold your partner's hand.
No.
Apparently, when your heart and breathing rates get in sync, it will lower your pain level.
But how does that guarantee that you get in sync if you're holding your hand?
Well, you just hold somebody's hand and you relax. I mean, that just relaxes you when you hold their hand. And so they're saying, guys, you should do this. Women, you can do this as well.
Yeah, right. My wife, if I look at her and say, God, I have a headache. Will you hold my hand? She'd be like, what?
So, yeah, Jeremy was telling about this new study out of the University of Colorado.
Go take a Tylenol, you moron.
You a Tylenol guy?
Tylenol or Advil, whatever's on hand.
Oh, I got to be Advil all the way. Or ibuprofen.
Do you ever do the Aleve?
No, I don't have Aleve in my house anymore because my mom's allergic to naproxen, which is in Aleve. It almost killed her once, so got rid of all the Aleve.
You took it out of your house?
Yeah, I don't want it in my house, even though we live hours apart. I mean, we used to live literally 16 hours from each other. Now we live 6.5, 7 hours from each other since they moved to Arizona. But,
there's always a possibility.
There's no more in my house.
That she could catch it over the Skype.
Well, hey, I don't want to take a chance when she comes to visit. They were just here for 2 weeks. I don't want there to be any, dustings or any chance.
I'll have to remember that.
Next
time I get a headache, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to hold your hand, and so I can get in sync.
No, I'm not your partner. All right.
Hashtag.
No matter how many times people want to call us partners, hashtag not that guy.
Hashtag bait and switch.
All right.
Everybody was all about the Atlanta Falcons and their move to have the cheapest prices for concessions in the National Football League when they open their new stadium this season. They're going to offer $2 hot dogs. Then people learned how much the Falcons are charging for tickets to the games, and they're like, wait a minute, you better be serving $2 hot dogs. You better give me that whole can of Diet Coke while you're at it. The team is not selling any single game tickets this season. Instead, they are only selling season tickets, and you have to buy personal seat licenses, which is money paid up front just for the right to buy the season ticket.
I think they do this in San Francisco, don't they?
They do this in Seattle, too.
Oh, okay. Oh, they do?
Except for the cool thing about Seattle, they do care about the fans to some extent, because the other day they had a one-day sale where they block out a certain amount of tickets for every single game on the home
and you can
schedule.
pick and choose which game you want to go to and how many.
But there's only a certain, like 5,000 seats available to each game. And then when they sell out, they sell out. Well, this is the problem with Atlanta, is the seat licenses range anywhere in price. Now, this is just for the right to buy tickets. Between $500 per seat and $45,000 per seat.
This does not guarantee you a seat. This just allows you to be able to buy them.
Buy the seats.
This is a fee for another fee. And the other fee is sitting in their seat and watching the game. That's the original fee. This is an additional fee on top of it just to have the right to be able to do that's
now you're like, well, nobody's going to go to the games, right?
This makes you want to just hate the NFL and the rich-ass owners and Roger Goodell. And
you would say, I'm not going to go to a game, right?
Yeah.
Amazingly, they've nearly sold each and every one of the 61,000 available season ticket licenses.
I would love to go to an NFL game. I would love to go to a Seahawks game since I'm a fan and I grew up being a fan. I've been to one in my entire life. I haven't been to one in over 25 years. That would be amazing. But I'm not going to pay $500 just so I can pay another $500 for the seats.
When they sell out a game in Atlanta, the money raised by the personal seat licenses for one game, if it's a sellout, will put $250 million into the pocket of Arthur Blank. They sell out 4 games this season. He makes $1 billion with a big.
It's time to play Know the Show with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. KZOZ.
Carl's Jr.'s hooked us up with a stack of certificates to enjoy their brand new charbroiled chicken sandwich. No antibiotics in this, and you can get it in the Chicken Club, also in the Hawaiian chicken sandwich. They also offer it in barbecue. I know you love barbecue, Jeff.
Love barbecue.
Barbecue grilled chicken sandwich.
I love barbecue, but that's only because it's a mainland option. When given the option Hawaiian or barbecue, I always go Hawaiian.
All right. Well, you'll win that today if you know the show.
That's where I'm going today for lunch. What is the pet peeve of the smoker that feels they are being polite and smoking in a secluded area? Okay.
This is the pet peeve of the smoker.
The pet peeve of the smoker that feels that they are being polite and stepping away to smoke in a secluded area.
What is their pet peeve?
What is their pet peeve?
543-3693.
What makes them angry?
What do you think, Nick?
I think, let's see. I think that when someone comes up and says, you shouldn't be smoking here.
No, that's not exactly what we're looking for. This comes from a comment from the awkward Facebook exchange earlier between Jennifer and...
Which will be available if you missed it on the podcast, and it is, you don't want to miss it.
Kalika.
This is Albert. Hey, Albert.
Yep.
What was it?
The pet peeve is when a smoker goes to a designated area and a family with their kids or someone else comes along and complains about it.
Yes, that's it. There's nothing more annoying than trying to go somewhere where you're supposed to be.
Caleb said...
and then all of a sudden, someone who shouldn't be there shows up.
Sometimes you can't avoid it because some ass clown with kids follows you to the most remote place and sets up right next to you after they have already lit up.
Yes. That is always unfortunate.
I feel bad for smokers now. I really do, because I was at concerts in the Plaza, oh gosh, a couple weeks ago. And there's that little area down there that, like, it's where they got like benches that they overlook the creek. They're not exactly next to the creek, but they overlook the creek up on like a ledge right across from the Creaky Tiki on the creek. And it's like away from everything. And the kids, they like to go down there and they like to run around and play. But also the smokers like to go down there because it's illegal to smoke in public.
Right.
But nobody can see them if they're down there. So the vapors and the smokers, they go down there. But then they've got to negotiate the kids that like to run around down there and go play. And it's just a bad recipe, you know, because the kids, they get bored with the music after like 2 songs. Nothing against Moonshiner Collective. That's who was playing that week. But, you know.
Well, they're kids. They just want to run and play.
Kids just want to run around and chase other kids.
I don't think the music is here or there for them. They just want to play and have fun.
And they want to jump in the shrubbery, and that's the best place for them to jump in the shrubbery.
And if you're fine with your kids being around that, fine. That's not a big deal. I mean, I was around smoke, and you were around smoke. Whatever.
But not as the way the law reads it. The law
is the difference.
The law
here.
reads it as the kids have the right to be there. The smokers do not have the right to be there. So it's really tough for smokers because they've got this addiction that they need to feed, and they're sitting there doing their thing, and they're trying to do the right thing by doing it out of the public side, but then kids are running around them chasing each other with sticks as they're sitting there trying to discreetly smoke. And they do this thing where they take the puff of the cigarette and then they like hide it in their hand and then stick it behind their back as if to get it the secondhand smoke away from the kids. I mean, it's good education, because I tell you this, 20 years ago smokers weren't doing that. When kids came around, they didn't care about the kids' exposure to the secondhand smoke.
Smoked in a restaurant, you smoked in a car, you smoked wherever you want.
So I mean,
movie theaters, for God's sake.
It a little bit goes a long ways, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. But still, I still feel bad. My heart goes out to those people smoking the cigarettes and doing the vaping.
Especially when they try to go somewhere else. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, all these people that don't want to be around smoke move in, and they start throwing a fit.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I got to be honest with you. I love my wife to death. She's my best friend, but I can't take her places where people smoke because she makes a big deal about it. We were in Reno, of all places, for God's sake. In a casino, somebody sits down next to us at a slot machine and lights up a cigarette.
You can't gripe about smokers in Reno.
She doesn't complain. You know what she does?
That's where America goes to smoke. Are you kidding me?
You know what she does? She doesn't complain. She goes like this. She goes, I can't breathe. I'm like, you were so embarrassing. Stop it. Last time I take her to Reno, which she told me is fine. She has no plans on going back.
We are in El Dorado, damn you. This is the finest establishment in this town.
Tomorrow on the show, we're always excited to talk to the Skin Master. We call him Mr. Actually, he calls himself Mr. Skin. His website is MrSkin.com, which is adult content. Yes. But we will be talking to him tomorrow about the best bikini scenes of all time. You know, what he does is he takes the best nude scenes from movies and he catalogs them on his website. He knows every single actress that has been in a nude scene.
Bikinis.
Like how many?
If it's bikini, it's not nude necessarily.
Yeah, but you know, we always say it's kind of nice when there's a little bit more left to the imagination. Mm-hmm. We like bikinis. We like lingerie. Anyways, he's going to run down the best bikini scenes of all time. We'll chat with him on the program tomorrow. Our buddy, is today Tuesday or Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday.
Oh my gosh! Tomorrow, Jeffrey Stolberg will be in too, and so
the week is flying by. Yes,
we'll tell you what to do if you get in trouble with the law. Tomorrow's all going to be about all you people that got in trouble at the fair, and now you need some advice. So we'll be spending a little bit of time on that. We told you what to do before you went to the fair. Jeff laid it out, and if you got in trouble with that, we'll figure that out. So, and we'll have more Slayer tickets. And we'll get somebody else properly chilled, qualified for their Firestone 805. So we got a busy day on Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Listen online at kzoz.com.